This is a Cosmos coach tour which I did in 2002. It's been on YouTube, but I've re-edited it in the hope that you might be able to hear it properly this time. We start in Padua. This will be quite a brief look at Padua. If you would like to see more, then try this one here. This is the Prato della Vella with many statues of famous people. Just over here is the Basilica of Santa Giustina with, among much else, a big painting by Paolo Veronese. In another church in Padua you can see the very famous frescoes by Giotto. Equally invaluable frescoes by Mantegna were destroyed during the last war. We're now looking at Donatello's statue of Gattamelata, a condottiere who is guarding the Basilica of San Antonio. Saint Anthony of Padua. Padua has one of the oldest universities in Italy, if not the world, second only to Bologna, which is where we're now going. Again, a very brief review of Bologna. If you want to see more, look at these. As you can see, Bologna has a nice fleet of trolleybuses, and if you just take a glimpse through this gap here, you can see one of its big churches, San Petronio in Piazza Maggiore. And down here, one of the leaning towers of Bologna. Besides the university, Bologna has a great collection of interesting churches, if that's what you're into. A lot of the city streets have porticos or covered arcades over the pavements, and it is a good place just to walk around looking at the architecture, observing Italian life in general, and enjoying Bologna's reputation for good eating. So we're heading now for San Marino, and you can just catch a glimpse of it there on the horizon. San Marino is not part of the state of Italy. They tell me that they are the oldest and smallest republic in the world. You can see it here at the very top of this mountain which we are climbing. So here we are arriving in San Marino, and here on the right is our driver Giuseppe, and on the left our guide Giacomo. Now then, look at the policemen that they have here. Mind you, I suppose they're just irritating when they're telling you what you can do and what you can't do. Sometime, probably in the 4th century, a Christian hermit from an island off the coast of Dalmatia built a chapel here. Over the years, other believers joined him, and the resulting religious community eventually became the Republic of San Marino. Obviously, over the centuries, its highly defendable position was an important factor in its being able to maintain its independence. One of my favourite films is Where Eagles Dare. I don't know if you've seen it, but what we're going to see next always reminds me of it.
on, we'll be seeing about 15 minutes from now, we'll be seeing the Renaissance, the rose-colored brick houses I was telling you about.
And there's Giacomo giving us the facts on our way to Urbino. We're now in the Marche region of Italy. The star attraction of Urbino is the Ducal Palace, not to be missed, although I managed it. It now houses the Galleria Nazionale della Marche, but the building itself is the major interest. The dukes, by the way, were the Montefeltros, and their symbol was an eagle. Federico, who was duke during the 1400s, was a Renaissance man if there ever was one.
Okay, if you look to the left, we can unstop, but just look to the left. This bridge dates from the Roman times. Coming up right there is at the left.
Oh, there it is, like the stone. See the stone?
Right there, all this is from the Roman times. Soon we'll be getting on the road. We'll be visiting another beautiful place, the most medieval place in Umbria. And they say that Umbria is the most medieval region in Italy, and if Gubbio is the most medieval city in Umbria, then that means that Gubbio is the most medieval city in Italy.
Yes, so we're on our way to the most medieval city in Italy. Giacomo just told us, Gubbio. Another ducal palace up here, also built by the Montefeltro. Also up there are several churches and the Piazza del Signoria. A nice place to just wander around. A bit hilly, mind you. And as you may have gathered from what Giacomo said earlier, we've now left the Marche and we're now in Umbria. Now we'll make our way to Assisi. And we all know Assisi because of Saint Francis of Assisi. He was born here in 1182. He's the one who used to talk to the birds and the animals. Well, so do I, so I guess there must be more to being a saint than that. Now, we can't get the bus up here, so we've got to walk up the hill to the Basilica. Here's our second camera team pretending they're doing something useful. After apparently fully enjoying his youth, Francis renounced his inheritance and became a preacher. In time, he founded the Franciscan order, and in fact a few years later founded an order for women called the Poor Clares. No, these are some of my girlfriends from the coach party. Just a few more yards now to the Basilica. I understand it's now restored after that earthquake. I'm afraid I didn't get any pictures on the inside of the Basilica, but do go and have a look, it's well worth it. We now leave Umbria and enter the region of Lazio. We'll make a stop at Viterbo, but don't blink or you might miss it. During the 13th century, Viterbo looked a potential rival to Rome. Mainly because of friction in Rome, a succession of popes had their residence here. To be honest, I didn't see much of Viterbo and would like to revisit sometime. Well, at least we know there's a fountain in Viterbo.